Anyone can sell electronics. At Electronics Expo, they do more than sell products. They design, install, and support complete technology solutions. From home theaters and whole home audio to lighting, shades, automation, networking, security cameras, and premium entertainment systems. For over 22 years, they've helped thousands of homeowners experience technology at its very best. See the difference for yourself. Visit their Wayne or Paramus stores in New Jersey or shop now at electronicsexpo.com.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi!
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Talking about congratulations, my next guest became a father for the second time just a couple of days ago. Carmine's got a sister when him and his lovely wife, Rachel, welcomed Colette Celia Morano into the world. Former WABC mega overnight superstar, now one of our 5 Republican city council members, and in my estimation, the best. And now again, a father for the second time, Mazel Tov, my friend Frank Morano. Frank, good morning, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Sid, and I appreciate the fact that you were the very first person that I'm not related to reach out and congratulate Rachel and me, and we're just delighted. The only thing Colette has going against her right now is a lot of people say that she looks a lot like me, which when you picture pretty girls, I'm not exactly the first image that comes to mind. So hopefully she'll grow out of that. But other than that, she's been delightful.
No, she's a beautiful little baby. How's Rachel feeling?
She's a little sore and very exhausted. Colette must have heard about my prior role doing overnights at WABC, and she's trying to emulate that schedule. So she sleeps during the day.
Yeah.
And she's up all night. But, she's only been alive for 2 days, so we got to cut her some slack.
And Carmine, he's excited. Sometimes he's young. You're lucky because when they're a little older and they're used to getting all the attention, if they're 5, 6, or 7. I had this with Ava and Gabriel. They're used to getting all the attention. Sometimes, at least early on, it goes away. They become the best of friends. But early on, there is some resentment. What is Carmine doing these days?
Well, first of all, is that the root of the problem between the relationship with you and your Trump-hating sister? Is that where it all began?
I'm not sure if it started there, but who knows? No, we were really good just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but no, in all seriousness, Carmine's great. He's very excited. He was feeding her yesterday. He kept trying to campaign to have her sleep in his room. He's excited to be a big brother, and he couldn't be better with her. He was helping feed her, helping change her even yesterday, and even though he's only 4.5, he's very excited and has a full understanding of what's going on, and he's excited for our family. So it's great.
All right, Frank and Rachel Morano now have a Carmine and a Colette, so they're in good shape. They've got one of each. So I know that last week when the budget got passed, and we all know that Mamdani, part of the reason why he got the budget passed was the bailout help from Kathy Hochul. But one of the real discussions centered around the fact that about 600 cops were supposed to be added in this budget. I had you on. You were great, always great. And you seemed very unhappy with the fact that the 600 cops were not added, as well as, for Joanne Areola, that 5th firefighter. So again, with the opportunity to aid the police and the FDNY, the mayor came up short. But I think you told me, and I'm putting words in your mouth, correct me, that your city council speaker, Julie Menon, was even not all that happy that the cops were taken out the very last second by Mamdani. Correct me. Tell me I'm right. What's the whole deal here?
Yeah, no. To put it mildly, the only thing I would correct you is the level of unhappiness with Julie, the speaker, Julie Menon, in terms of those cops being taken out. So now, let me be clear. So I voted no on the budget. I explained why, last week. And, I certainly have a lot of criticisms of the things that the council does. But on the comp issue, and you had a terrific interview with Vincent Vallalong, who's a close friend, and the SBA was the very first union to endorse me. And so I'm really in their debt. But I didn't appreciate the fact that he and a couple of other people were blaming the speaker and the council one iota for what the mayor did. So the blame overwhelmingly belongs to Zohran Mamdani. He is the one who pulled the 580 cops. He's the one who sprung it on everyone after the budget was effectively printed, and he's the one who caved to the anti-cop activist wing of his party. I've got plenty of differences with Julie Menin and the city council. I vote differently from them on a bunch of things. But this is the first time in the history of the city of New York where the council has been the adult in the room in the mayor-council relationship. It has never happened before. It was the council that stopped the property tax hike. It was the council that stopped the mayor from reining the rainy day fund. It was the council that stopped him from raising taxes on high-income earners. So on the issue of cops, Mamdani is the villain, not Julie Menin. The speaker and the council had been publicly pressing for more cops for months. Mamdani made the decision to yank those 580 officers at the 11th hour after the budget was printed. People can disagree with the speaker on a lot of things. I certainly do. But it is totally unfair to say she caused the police cut. Just so people understand the history, back in March, the speaker, and this is all documented, I've sent you the audio, and people can look it up for themselves if they want to do the work. Back in March, the speaker was already pressing the NYPD and the administration on headcount. She specifically pointed out that the mayor had removed funding that Adams put in that would have added 5,000 new officers. Then now there was not a talk from March, when she pressed Commissioner Tisch on that, to June about adding any new cops. Forget about 580. They were ready to add 0. They said they were doing an adequate job with staffing and that the crime numbers were down. And then she pointed out, well, and I did, and others did, Joanne Ariola did, and others, that, look, rapes are up, hate crimes are surging through the roof, transit crimes are up. My colleague in the Bronx, Oswald Felice, not considered a conservative by any means, he pointed out that shootings in the Bronx are up. Then in June, after all this, that when the administration floated this 580 cop increase, the speaker didn't say, great, problem solved. She pressed them and said 580 wasn't enough. Her public position was that the city needed far more cops, not fewer, just to get us back to where we were on 9/11. And when Mamdani pulled the 580 cops, she publicly said she strongly disagreed. But this was done essentially on July 1st. So the council added roughly $300 million for the NYPD in this budget. The 580 officers would have cost about $70 million. So we can stop pretending that there was no money for it. The money was there. The council funded the department. Mamdani chose not to use that funding to replenish the ranks. So if you're angry about the police cut, and I am, that's why I voted no, be angry at the guy who made the cut.
But you know what's great is you should really be the speaker. And this is not a shot at Julie Menin. It's more of a compliment to you because you just laid it out so perfectly. And I know what you're saying is right. You know I know. I actually had a conversation with Jessica Tisch the morning of, and I spoke to you as well. So I know the real deal, and I know that Julie Menin is on our side. I think some of the frustration is with Julie, who, again, I've warmed up to, and you're right about this. She's on the right side, is that she did not really say this publicly. And if she did, not a lot of people heard it. So the only criticisms people may have is instead of standing up there all smiley with Mamdani like Trump does with him and Erdogan, how about not being so smiley and how about delivering the same message you just did? Because the truth is, in Julie Menin's defense, that's how she felt.
Yeah, I think she's been pretty critical on the mayor on everything from the anti-Semitism issues to even yesterday when his Department of Health said the best way to deal with the Legionnaires outbreak is to essentially wait until people get sick before we.
I'm an idiotic. Heard that.
No, I mean, we got to clean all these things. So, but I won't disagree with you that she could be even more vociferous. But I think as far as being a Democrat in New York City, I don't know that there's a single Democrat that's in elective office now currently putting up more of a fight against the mayor. And if you look at what Mamdani did, though, it's not just that he caved to the anti-cop left, which is bad enough, and because the activist left screamed and he folded. And you see that with the tweets from my colleagues like Councilmember Tiffany Caban, who's a member of the DSA, but his own political base, the DSA and the anti-cop activists, the same crowd that thinks adding officers is a moral crime, they put him under pressure and he caved. That's what this was. was.
Yes.
It wasn't some new revelation about staffing needs. It was a political surrender. But what bothers me even more is not just that he did it, but it was the way that he did it. It wasn't just the substance, but he waited until the last minute after the budget was essentially printed, after members were operating under the assumption that these 580 cops were in there, and then he yanked it. So that's the opposite of good faith. It's a bait and switch. So had we known about this, according to Gothamist, they said that this was known, I think, at least the Thursday or Friday before we voted on the budget on Monday. Had we known about this Thursday or Friday, it might have been something that we could have negotiated for over the weekend, but we didn't. He didn't tell us about this until hours after all this other stuff. Now, again, there's a lot of other things in the budget that weren't great. You mentioned the fifth man. There's a couple other things, but I could have found my way to voting for this if it included those 580 cops. So the mayor is totally the villain. He's forgetting about whether this was right or wrong. In my view, it's clearly wrong. He was so dishonest about it, and he caved. He caved to this crowd of ultra left-wing activists. So for all these folks that host cop podcasts or live on social media and think, including friends of mine, by the way, and think that, oh, okay, this is their opportunity to score some points, that's where the focus of all of us needs to be. Now, the council is going to work to find more funding to hire these new cops. But the only reason they're not there now is because of the mayor.